Come on. Come on, come on, come on. There's gotta be a way to get somewhere. There's got... What's that? Is that... I'm free!
What? Is this my good side, or where's the light? I don't...
Afia, I'm back!
You left? What the hell? I just thought Kevin canceled the show or something.
No, he begged me to stay when I told him I was leaving.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely
Okay,
did
well-
not. Now please get on with the show.
Anyway, hello, good evening.
Welcome to LEC Update, the show you never thought you needed, and once you've seen it, and you'll never escape.
I don't think that's it. Say the line.
Once you've seen it, you'll know for sure.
Okay, awesome. Yay, I'm Effie de Portere.
I'm Christy Frierson.
It's finals weekend, and while some legends return to the show,
Yeah, thank you.
others left it. Last weekend, former LEC champions, MSI champions, and world finalists G2 were eliminated from playoffs and denied a spot at Worlds for the first time in the organization's history. And Misfits lost too.
Oh, well, I thought G2 had all the elements needed to remain a great team. Mickey, Wonder, Jankos, Caps. My grandfather Quickshot used to tell me stories about the old days, a time of peace when the perks kept balance between the Risk tribes, Lane Kingdom, WoW Nation, and Missing Spear Nomads. But all that changed when the Reckless Nation was signed. Only the perks mastered all four elements. Only he could stop the endless inting. But when G2 needed him most, he vanished.
Adam absolutely crushed Wonder last weekend. I mean, can you even call him a rookie anymore? After today, he will have played the same amount of games in playoffs as he did during the entire regular season. He also locked in 2 of his favorite picks versus G2, Olaf and even Darius in Game 5 to take the series. Looks like Carmine Corp made it to Worlds after all.
And I guess Adam just isn't a fan of cake. Ironic that even a reskinned 2016 G2 could make Worlds this year, and in a way, Perks will still be taking Caps to Worlds.
Speaking of NA, how about Alfari making it to the finals?
Yeah.
Again, I mean, imagine that, a 10th place player in the LEC dominating all of NA.
Whoa, calm down. He was by far one of the best top laners in the EU before he left.
You've changed, dude. What is that?
No, I'm being serious. He was first all-pro that summer, too.
Oh, all pro. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I remember when that used to hold some weight. That aged well.
Well, the fans made one really good decision, at least. Can't wait to see you on MVP.
Well, Alfari dominating is just one reason NA fans should get excited about this year's Worlds out of a total 2. The other being that the majority of their players are going to feel at home now that Worlds 2021 is coming home to Europe. I wonder why that is. Now, our 3 Worlds attendees are locked in with Fnatic, Mad Lions, and Rogue. Although expectations are mixed for Rogue after faltering to the reigning champs last week. They just aren't as inspiring in the playoffs as they were during the regular season. And they certainly aren't the same godlike best-of-1 team that we all know and love.
Oh, no.
Hold it, Christy, come on.
Sorry. Well, the Mad Lions are back to being the apex predator in the LEC, but there's only one feline that's #1 in my heart.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, your kitty cat Jack. I thought it was his time to make an LEC debut.
Aw.
What a cutie. I love it. As for the Mad Lions, Humanoid has been looking far more machine than man this year. There's really no more Humanoid dies. Instead, it's usually the other mid that cries.
Yeah, and the Lions are actually so good, you might confuse them for...
Cheetah.
Cheetahs?
Like, yo, they're a bunch of cheaters, cheetahs.
Ah,
like
yeah,
they're too good to be true.
Yeah, cheetahs. But
good one.
trust me, there's no
Thank you.
scripting going on except for the fact that Kevin is a big, stinky, poopy head.
Nice.
Not cool.
Good one.
Seriously, Christy, you think that's funny? Are you 5 years old or something?
Give or take, yeah.
Well, I, for one, hope that EU's performance at Worlds is more convincing than you quitting the LEC.
Oh, I only ever said I was leaving. Check the tapes, which I did.
I wish you stayed on.
Hey!
Well, for LEC Update, I'm Effie de Portere.
I'm Christy Frierson.
Get back in the desk!
I don't want to go on the desk!
Now!
I don't want to go! Please! Not the desk!
Berlin, Germany for the LEC Finals weekend. Fnatic, they fought their way back through the lower bracket, but two series still remain on the road towards the LEC title. Tonight, they go up against Rogue, who have a lot to prove after their opening weeks in the playoffs. I'm really happy to be joined by Ender and by Treatz. Obviously, I'm actually really happy to see you.
You were giving me the cold shoulder just a second ago.
I know.
It hurt my feelings.
Everything for show business. Treatz, nice to see you. And yeah, made it to the finals.
I did, yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow,
Yeah,
sorry.
True. Yeah, definitely the finals weekend will be fun. Sucks not playing, but it's also fun to be here with you guys, so we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely looking forward to your insight. And of course, last week we saw the end of an era in the LEC. For the first time in the organization's history, G2 will miss out on the World Championship, Ender.
Yeah, I mean, just really shocking, honestly, watching them over the course of the year, because even if you look back to spring split, you know, first in the regular season, there was hope and it was disappointing, but you always felt that they would be able to pick themselves back up and, you know, finishing still towards the top of the standings, but it is not the G2 of old. The expectations where for the last couple of years, they've made it all the way to the top and won everything.
Yeah, I had a lot of G2 copium coming into playoffs, but I think it's really clear that they don't really have the same touch as they did before, so it sucks to see, but it's also cool to see the new teams come up strong as well.
Yeah, you can't say that the teams who did make it don't deserve it, right? But it does leave a big question mark for a lot of people, being where did they go next, Treatz? Because to me, it kind of feels like if you make such a big investment, we should call it as well, right? And such a big gamut in terms of the roster with Reckless, and it doesn't work out, how are you ever going to build up that synergy?
Yeah, it's really tough. I think it's hard to say what they need and what they don't need. You have to really be on the inside of the team to figure it out. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be changes, but we'll have to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I think even just looking at social media right now, Carlos has been very vocal. Like, he does not want to lose, right? This is a team that their aspirations aren't just, they don't just stop with winning Europe. It's about winning Worlds and going all the way. I just texted him last night. He's like, I'm winning Worlds next year. I'm like, okay,
all right.
I want to see it happen. But, you know, it's cool something
story,
where, yeah, you know, I talked to Carlos, big deal. But no, I feel like this is going to be a situation where they do have to do some soul searching and figure out what to do next year.
Yes, we're excited for the next chapter of G2, and they may have fallen short versus Fnatic, but G2 also had their moments, like last week's MasterCard Play of the Week. And I think regardless of how it all ended up for G2, we have to say Caps and also Sjokz have had a tremendous playoffs on.
Yeah, I mean, good regular split too. Caps and his movement is still so fire, continuing to be one of the best mid laners in the league. And I think this play itself, the fancy feet, able to make it happen and escape towards the back end of things as well, is just really impressive.
Yeah, Caps, when he's confident, you can really see it in his play and his movement. And this was one of those plays that was just really crisp, and it's so cool to see when he's on form.
I'm definitely going to miss Caps at Worlds. Of course, all the others as well. But now we should focus on the teams that are still in the running as we get a nice little extra shot of Caps, being Mad Lions, Rogue, and Fnatic. Now, Mad Lions, they make it to a back-to-back finals, and they, Rogue, and Fnatic will be our 3 representatives at Worlds 2021. Of course, Worlds is confirmed going to Europe. The location is TBD. For all the information, you can follow LOL Esports on Twitter.
It's coming home.
It is coming. Is it coming home? The home region never seems to win, but we'll see. Treatz, yeah, at the end of the day, I think there was a lot of discussion, but Rogue, Mad, and Fnatic deserve it. What are your expectations for what they can do at Worlds?
Yeah, they 100% deserve it, and I think obviously it's easiest to be most excited about Mad so far because they've shown really crisp play in their mid game. So I think we'll have to see. Fnatic and Rogue, they have their chance to make me impressed today as well, and we'll see how they do.
See, that's what it's all about. You got to impress Treatz when you're at Worlds. Now, be sure to join us tomorrow from 11 a.m. for the LEC Finals warm-up. 6 hours of great content before the Summer Finals. Games, cold opens, content, DJ set from Lumix, so much stuff.
I mean, last split we had the hot tub stream from Carlos. I hear there's like some kind of Twitch chat plays Scuttle Crab.
No,
I don't know what that is.
Every chat.
Oh, sorry.
Whatever chat
I have a bit of an affinity towards Twitch chat, but it's all chats. And yeah, I mean, I'm for one going to be playing that.
I'm super excited for chat plays Scuttle Crab, but also all the rest. It's going to be super exciting. It's going to be like we're all here together, even though we're not. You know, you can party from home, watch your show, and then watch hopefully an insane finals. But let's look ahead towards today's semi-final and the stories. And for Fnatic, the pressure of playing for an organization like Fnatic is tremendous, especially for a new player to the LEC stage. And Adam, he handled it exceptionally and earned the title of Rookie of Summer. Next stop, Worlds.
Attention, on sait pas qu'il est là, Snacker du côté des Misfits.
On va le savoir bientôt, on va le savoir bientôt.
Adam, il est très dangereux. Par contre, il ne peut pas cliquer cette lanterne. Il y a tellement de wards dessus. Et Adam devrait tomber. Quoique Adam qui fait un super tap, qui prend double kill. Adam qui est en V3. Dans quelle plaide ça part? Agressivo ne peut plus rien faire. C'est terminé pour lui aussi. Et c'est peut-être la game qui vient d'être gagnée par Adam. À lui tout seul sur son Darius. Triple kill.
They'll break open the base and they'll go for the back in. Adam, double kill, and they're looking for the referee.
Now for Adam on the weak side, as Laure was talking about, is going to take a not so favourable trade here. He's at risk of getting dived here.
He flashes forward, flash away from Pivot. Razork flashes in, wind becomes lightning, goes wide. Adam's going to try and heal up. He survives, he kills Razork. It's over, it's done. Give it to Fnatic. Fnatic get two. Upset looking for more of his one to TP'd in, perhaps to his death. Caps getting chased away by Adam in a pure 1v1. The cleaver! Adam! Surgical precision from the doctor in the house!
How do I feel about it? Don't have time as Adam's getting yanked again.
There's the paranoia as they look for Adam. Haymaker comes out. That's a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Flash away. A good face breaker there. Popo coming in with the Thrill of the Hunt as well, but Treatz doesn't have the mana. There's the showstopper. Adam takes the highway out of there. Manages to use Treatz as an express train to safety.
Is there, but Broken Blade can't follow it. And now Upset's found a reset. Now it's Adam in the midst of the entire team. It's disaster for Sjokz. And here comes Adam. Double kill for Upset. Resets. It's a bounce house, baby. The triple for Upset in the end. Adam plowing through the team.
What a fantastic video to celebrate your success, Adam, through the summer season. Congratulations on being the Rookie of Summer here in the LEC. I mean, it must not have come as a surprise given the rapid journey that you had from, again, the LFL to reaching Worlds within a year. But I want to know more. What is your drive as a player, and how do you explain that you had this amazing journey? Because it's not like every player can do what you did this year.
I think that I was pretty well around when I joined Fnatic. I wasn't alone, and everyone in the team helped me improve so fast and made me really confident right at the beginning. And like it's really amazing to have these players which are not really egoistic, and they were willing to help me a lot and to improve. And thanks to my work and their work too, I could improve that fast, and I'm really grateful to have them.
And it's amazing to see your development with Fnatic, Adam. And talking about this confidence, I was curious to see whether you would be able to bring your pocket picks that we knew from the LFL in the LEC. And I mean, picking Darius Game 5 against G2 means something, especially about this confidence. But I want to know, how did you work to get this confidence? Because to get these experienced players to trust you on Game 5, the game that would get you to Worlds, to pick your pocket pick, tell me about the confidence with the Fnatic players.
I mean, like, I think that to gain trust from my teammates, at least I have to earn the trust, right? I mean, like, people have to trust me, and I should have, like, how to say, prove myself in the past for them to trust me now. And I think that I kind of did it by the past, and that's why they trust me really hard now, and that's why they let me pick Darius in Game 5. I mean, of course, Darius was a good pick too, but it's not really a meta pick, so people can really, like, can you pick something else? But everyone in the team was like, no, you can just pick Darius. And my confidence comes from, I mean, I'm not a pessimist guy. Like, I always come into the game like confident, trying to win. And it's not because I'm facing G2 Game 5 or whatever in Game 1, 2, 3. Like, I mean, I don't really care, right? It's just a BO1 for me. Every game is like a BO1, like a BO5. I really don't care. It's like I take one game in another, and I'm as confident as all games, basically, and that's why.
We'll see if this confidence shines through today's Best of 5 series. You're going to face off against Rogue. Remember, before you joined the LEC, you were telling me that Odo Amne was the best top in the league. You're going to have a rematch in Best of 5 against him today. Your take on Odo Amne compared to you, and how it's going to go for you in the top lane versus him?
I think Odo Amne didn't play really well against Mad, and I think it's my time to shine again, I would say. I respect Odo Amne a lot, as usual. I really respect a lot this guy. He's really strong, and I really admire for his level. And that's why I respect him. That I will try to be stronger than him during this BO5 because I always need like to have someone to outperform at least in one game, and Odomne will be my target today.
Let's see if you can check Odo from the list today. Adam, thank you so much for the interview. Félicitations une nouvelle plus for being the rookie of summer. And Sjokz, back to you.
Thank you so much. Amazing interview with Adam, and I think it's a surprise to no one. He won, and now Adam and Fnatic, they've had an incredible journey so far in the lower bracket for a spot at Worlds. They already got that in the bag, and now they've got their eyes, of course, on the LEC title. You know, the story of Fnatic this year is pretty crazy, Ender.
Yeah, I mean, because it goes all the way back to the start of the year when they lose Reckless, who's been with the team for so incredibly long. That immediately going to start casting doubts into the minds of fans. But then spring, not too bad. All of a sudden, into summer, they make even more risky changes, dropping out Selfmade, another huge star in the roster. But Bwipo's transition into jungle has been excellent, and Adam's introduction to the scene, flawless.
Indeed, and they won 3 Game 5s in a row to make it here. In the LEC playoffs, Treatz, a team has never done that. What does that say to the momentum and the synergy of Fnatic at this point in time?
When you start winning a best of 5, when they win their first best of 5 and they get this confidence until the next round, it's kind of the same thing again, where they're like, oh, we just did this, guys, we can just win this best of 5 as well. And then suddenly they have 2 best of 5s, and then they have extra confidence going into the third one. So I think they have a lot of momentum coming into the series against Rogue, and I think they will show this today as well.
They haven't won a title since 2018 for Fnatic. It's a bit of an immovable mountain. That's what Yamato used in his speeches as well. They are at the top of the mountain. And I think you have to talk about kind of the synergy, especially also between Hylissang and Bwipo, the 2 longest standing members on this Fnatic roster. And so much of what the team does in game starts and ends sometimes with those
100%. It does very much feel like the Fnatic style is the Bwipo and Hylissang style. The go in, the go forward. We've known it from Hylissang for so long, but I think it's only elevated too once Bwipo was put in the jungle position, because so much about the team in the early game, especially that series against G2, was get lane prio, get Bwipo into the enemy jungle, and he is going to kill over and over again. And the second Hylissang can get out of lane and help him do it, he is going to.
Yeah, I mean, they've always been a scary duo, and Bwipo in jungle just makes it kind of easier for Hylissang as well.
Yeah.
They have a better click in the game, and they don't really have to overstep or Bwipo TPs down or runs down to bot lane. It's way more natural for them to sync up.
A success story so far in the lower bracket, really superlative over superlative. Fnatic, they've proven so much already, and I think for Rogue, their competitors today, it's mirrored in that for Rogue, there's been disappointment so far in the playoffs. They were, again, the best team in the regular season, but come those best of 5s, I feel like they still have something left in the tank, because we haven't seen peak Rogue in best of 5s this playoffs yet.
It's true. I mean, even in the organization's history, it feels like it's been a little bit of a letdown, because this team for 2+ years now has been a top team in Europe, and yet they've never made it past the final hurdle. In the past, it was the G2s that would knock them down. Now it's Mad Lions in spring finals, and now again just last weekend too. This team they're so strong at beating teams. They're so consistent in the regular season, but it does truly feel like come best of 5s, come playoffs, when other teams have leveled up around him, that you start to see some of the weaknesses shine through. Their mid games, knowing what to do, knowing how to close things out, are the explicit strengths of a team like Mad Lions of this year, of a team like G2 in the past, and that is why I feel like we see them get exploited come playoffs time.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird, because if you're a really good best of 1 team, it should feel easy to adapt this into a best of 5 as well. And I think it's kind of a question of time when it really clicks for Rogue. I think obviously it hasn't done that yet, but I think it will come at some point, and maybe it will happen today against Fnatic.
We'll see. Of course, for a lot of players on that roster like Hans and Odo, but also the rest of them, they got so close to winning that title in spring. They really want a chance to get back to the finals. And throughout the regular season, though, one player stood out from all the rest, leading his team to the top spot. This is your LEC Summer MVP.
It's having probably one of the best individual performances we've seen this summer from anyone on any team.
Transdimensional teleportation, go!
Here comes Inspired, and it might be time for an equalizer. First blood to Inspired.
The range is just so long.
Caught out by Inspired, he's going to have to try and jump across this wall, lands the stun, lands the knock-up. Inspired wins the 1v1 in the jungle. Inspired here, he knew the Scuttlecrab was available on the top side. He knew that Bwipo would want to go for it, and now he's in the perfect spot. Inspired just reads them. Crescent Guard's gonna knock back Niski, Narsen so low, but Inspired!
How are you this spot, man? What the
Everyone take your places! And I'll get back!
Back yet from Sjokz, gets both the play for something. Plus the prevents the engage. Now the chase forward as Inspired manages to leap over the wall.
Here comes the crows! Ask whatever damn question you want of the Raven, it's a murder in the bot lane!
Inspired, congrats on being this summer MVP for the LEC this year. Congratulations. What does it mean to you to get this title today?
I mean, what does it mean? I mean, it's a nice reward for the hard work that I like put into the whole split, basically, and even the last split, because yeah, I mean, I just practice every day to win the LEC, and getting like award MVP is just shows that people like see the work that I put in. So yeah, that feels great.
You're the third jungler to get it in LEC history, actually, after Jankos and Trick before that. What sets you apart compared to the other LEC junglers this year, especially? You were talking about your dedication to the game and how much you work. Tell me about more.
I'm not sure. I think I just, especially like this split, I think I just try to make decisions that help my team a lot, and basically I don't do many mistakes, and I think that's very important when you play as a jungler, because if your jungler doesn't make mistakes, then it's easier for your team to play, because enemy team can't really snowball from that, and I think I'm good at it, and I don't make mistakes, and because of that it's easier for the team to play.
And you improved so much in such a short time, actually, because you started playing competitively in 2017. You arrived a couple years ago in the LEC and quickly became one of the best, if not the best, jungler in the league. So talk me through your success and where do you see improvement as a player? What are you the most proud of when you think about your career so far?
I mean, I didn't really achieve much in LEC yet. I was in the final, I guess, but I don't know what's like what I'm the most proud of. I guess this is like the first step, and the next step will be winning the LEC. So I will keep working until I will get there, and I think this week is a pretty good chance to get it.
It's going to be a good task for you, maybe, to see if you can get a step higher. But thinking about your evolution and everything, if you were to say something to your former self, the player you were when you started playing competitively, what would you say?
Don't tilt. Just always be positive, and I think it will help a lot.
All right, well, I hope it was going to help you maybe today, but for now, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats again on being the MVP, and best of luck against Fnatic today, Inspired.
Thank you.
And Sjokz, back to you.
Thank you so much, Laure. You know, I get it. If I'm Inspired and I'm in that position, I'm about to play my semifinal. You don't want to be, I guess, too super overexcited, but you could see that it means a lot to him because he is a very deserved MVP of the regular season.
Oh, 100%. And from the start of draft to the end of the game, Rogue is inspired in so many ways. They try to draft prio lanes around him. He plays so much to get leads. It's about these small leads from invading the enemy jungle. You can see it right here as well. It's all about getting inspired ahead in the early game, and he's so good at doing it.
He is. Treatz, talk to me about what a winning formula is for Rogue when we have this information about how important Inspired is for the roster. I believe you wanted to look at specifically the game 3 that they played versus the Mad Lions, that they ended up losing, but it has the elements that we want to see out of Rogue.
Yeah, it's the classic Rogue draft where they have a lot of prio and Inspired can kind of be unleashed. I think it was kind of weird seeing them in the first 2 games not really go for the style and go for something completely different. And in this 3rd game, they did end up losing it, but this was definitely the best like Rogue draft that we've seen. So I think they need to do this type of draft today against Fnatic if they want to win the series. And I think this is what made Inspired get MVP, this like high prio lane style with him being on an aggressive champ, and I think that's their formula of success.
Does that also fit in the meta still?
I think it absolutely does, and I think it's been this way for a long time, especially in the way that Rogue like to try to play the game. I mean, ultimately, there's two ways of going about it. It's about either get prio lanes to have your jungler go nuts inside the enemy jungle, build up leads in this way, or about playing around your lanes and trying to attack them. And I think that Rogue, because they have such strong laners, especially when they are in good matchups, they can get leads on their own. They don't need help getting bailed out of lane or anything like this when they have a solid draft. Instead, you can come out of lane, and the old Rogue, the Rogue that was always at the top, would come out of lane with 10 CS in the top lane, 15 in the mid lane, a couple in the bot lane too. It's this type of style that makes Rogue so consistently good in BO1s.
Now versus Mad, we unfortunately saw for Rogue that even when they had a good team fighting comp or an early game advantage, they ended up losing the games. What do we think this looks like versus Fnatic? Meaning, how does Fnatic then stack up versus the way Mad likes to come back in games? Will an early game lead be enough for Rogue to win games versus Fnatic?
That's a really good question. I think it really depends on how sharp they are today, because we haven't really seen Rogue have these like insane team fights where everything clicks for them. So I think that needs to happen today, and I think Fnatic is kind of like Mad, also a very aggressive team that likes to go for a lot of fights, but they're not as sharp as Mad. So I think it will be slightly easier for Rogue today, but they also need to step up a bit for sure.
They do, and we know that Fnatic is also pretty insane sometimes when it comes to the early games.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Bwipo's kill map versus G2. If you remember, we did the same thing versus Vitality and Misfits. What do you read from this map, Treatz?
I think the biggest thing that I noticed is that there's so many kills around the top lane, like in the lane. They got a lot of kills around there, moving with the mid jungle towards top side and get these kills. And then after Adam was secure in his matchup and after he was confident, then they move bot side and they have these kills between the towers and in the jungle, and they go really ham. So it's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, it's like in the top lane, laners are pushing against Adam and you're punishing them for over-aggression, whereas the bot side, Upset and Hylissang, oftentimes, I mean, last week Adam was killing people too, but Upset and Hylissang always going to be killing, pushing on that bottom side, setting up for dives. It's a very different style of punishing when a wave is going to be crashing. You can definitely expect that around an Upset Hilly lane.
As we look at some early invades from the side of Bwipo, we heard a couple of weeks ago, I think it was from Mephisto from Vitality, who said that Bwipo, he studies a lot. He uses like unconventional ideas, etc. Do you see that in his play in the early game?
I mean, you absolutely do. I have not seen a jungle performance like this in a long time, where you're just relentlessly killing your opponent jungler over and over and over. And Sjokz, unfortunately, didn't quite get the level up. I think he had one of the Raptors stolen away from him. But Bwipo is in there deep. He's punishing. And this is something even veteran junglers don't often do, because there is inherent risk when you're running all the way towards the enemy side of the fountain when enemy lanes can try to collapse upon you. But because it is such a well-oiled machine for Fnatic, it works, and they listen to the calls to play around Bwipo.
Yeah, it makes it really fun to watch as well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think when Hylissang and Bwipo are running around in the enemy jungle, it always looks really fun to watch, and it's always scary for the enemy team. So I think they will have this today as well, and it's about how Rogue like adapts to it and how they respond. So that will be super interesting to watch today.
Let me throw you then this question, kind of like the previous one, but for you know, the side of Fnatic and Rogue. Do you think Fnatic is a similar team in that if they do get an early lead that they can keep pushing? I say that because I feel like Fnatic is a team that does overpush sometimes. And how equipped is Rogue to catch the throws if they do come?
Ooh, that's also a tricky question. I think they definitely have some tendencies to throw as well. They've done so in the past in the regular season and a few playoffs games. So I think both teams have tendencies of having this mid-game slump. So we'll kind of who is the sharper today? That team will take it for sure.
Absolutely. And who bans or picks TF? Let's talk about this. For Fnatic, it was such a big talking point rather versus G2, how they kept getting their hands on it.
So first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and say, let's ban the Twisted Fate. Let's remove that from Nisqy if we're Rogue. That's going to be a good look, because honestly, I see a lot of similarities in like the champion pool, the Twisted Fate for Nisqy, like the Rise for Humanoid. These global champions that can force numbers advantages. It disrupts the Rogue playstyle. It stops them from being the ones playing with initiative, and you have to get rid of those options.
Oh, absolutely. Nisqy's up versus Larssen in this one, and I think for me, as Nisqy takes a little nap, he is up. Thank you.
Oh.
Oof. Yeah. Larssen is a big question mark for me. Can you guys kind of explain to me, maybe Treatz, how important it is for Rogue that Larssen shows up today to make sure that they get to the final?
Yeah, Larssen has had a pretty of a shaky playoffs, you could definitely say. He's always someone that Rogue needs to click for them to win games. And I think statistically he hasn't looked bad at all. It's just kind of weird that the impact you feel from Niska has just been all over the place, whereas Larssen has been a bit more relaxed in playoffs for sure.
I think so much of it is to the styles of the player. Larssen is a player that shines when he's allowed to play his game, stay in lane, dominate, build up CS leads. Niski's a guy that's going to run around the map on something like the Twisted Fate. So when Rogue are succeeding, when they're doing really well, Larssen looks unstoppable. He looks like maybe even the best mid laner in the league. But when Rogue are struggling, he's not necessarily the player that will come up and fix things and solve problems in the other lanes for Rogue.
Yes, we haven't even talked about Odo or about the bot lanes. We will during this series, of course, but I need your predictions. 30 seconds. Who wins and why? You get 10.
10 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and go with a Fnatic 3-2 vote. I think it's in the script here, in all honesty, and their disruptive playstyle is going to get the best of Rogue in the end.
Treatz.
Yeah, so far it's been a 3-2 every time I've been in the studio for Fnatic, so I'm going to go with a 3-2 Fnatic.
Wow, 5 games again. Let's see what happens. Discord voted 3-1 for the side of Fnatic. We'll see what happens. This series is for the right to challenge the Mad Lions for the LEC title, as Rogue look to kick Fnatic down from the top of the mountain.
Fnatic will join Mad and Rogue at Worlds for Europe, and G2 are going home. Fnatic make it through to Worlds.
Actually being able to represent Europe now is making me feel so proud. Like all my hard work has paid off for now.
Eyes on upset. Eyes on upset. Eyes on Tristana. That's 4 so far this fight. With the true shot barrage, upset kills Reckless. Upset kills Reckless. And you gotta say it twice because it's just that important.
Upset finally conquers the demons of Worlds and he makes it there and he puts in a statement series.
We use it perhaps too much, but it's the end of an era.
I really wanted to win and send my boys, especially Elias, upset to Worlds. He has never done it. I'm very happy we're going together. Rogue is a team that is very strong. We are not to be underestimated, and I think we can take them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, against Fnatic, we're for sure very confident.
Against Fnatic, I think it should be quite easy. They are just like worse Mad Lions, I would say.
We're good enough, so it will be very sad to see such potential wasted for stupid reasons.
And now the flank is on the realm. Oh, we're back with the pillar! Oh, he apprehends him out of the flipping build wall! Flipping way! Stopwatch. And Yoyo's still on the front line. It's fine from the back. A great kick on to Kazi. Kazi trying to survive with the Immortal Shiro. And Summer doing so much work! And Summer doing so much work! 13,000 damage! What? Haymaker after Haymaker landing here, but it's Rogue coming out on top.
I can assure you all of them wake up in a cold sweat once every few weeks, reminiscing about that lost Game 5 versus the Mad Lions.
And once again in the Kings match, Mad Lions dethrone Rogue.
People always doubt us. They even thought that we are gonna lose against G2. That us winning in Spring was just some luck, but that's not true.
I don't wanna get too cocky or anything. I wanna keep feet on the floor.
I misplayed that fight, sorry. Same.
Yeah, we won this, but we still have another BO5.
A statement win from the LEC champions, the Mad Lions. They're sailing up as favorites to defend their title.
He's behind you. And here comes the quickness. Kaiser immediately dives onto Larssen, and Larssen is popped.
How does Kaiser keep getting away with it?
Yellow goes on to Larssen straight away, and he's dead before he can even get the stun card out. And somehow Mad Lions have brought it to life. How the freak do Mad Lions keep winning these fights?
We're just better at being decisive in the moment and playing kind of like psychos.
We've had times where things were rough, but like our mantra, we're on a mountain, just making sure that our mental is in the right place. I couldn't be more proud of this group.
Winning the LEC would be like the cherry on top right now. Every time we play best of 5, I feel like we get stronger and we learn something from it. So winning the LEC would of course be the best thing possible.
Well, it took me everything to win. It's what I've been playing the whole year for.
We are super confident and we definitely think that we are the best team in the LEC.
And now